Good morning. Happy Friday. We have made it to Friday, y'all. It is time for just a word from the Word. Our passage this morning comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 39, verse 8, and I'm reading from the English Standard Version. Then Hezekiah said to Isaiah, "The word of the Lord that you have spoken is good." We'll talk about that. For Hezekiah thought, there will be peace and security in my days. So, Hezekiah, sick unto death, cries out to the Lord. Isaiah had actually gone to visit King Hezekiah and said, "You're about to die." Isaiah leaves. Hezekiah turns over in his bed and says, "Oh God, have mercy," basically. And before Isaiah could get out of the courts of the palace, the Lord speaks to him and says, "Go back and tell Hezekiah he's going to live. He's going to have 15 more years." And so Isaiah the prophet does. He goes back to the king and says, "Hey, the Lord's heard your cry. You're going to have 15 more years of life because you have been holy and good and righteous and all this wonderful stuff." God gives Isaiah the way to cure Hezekiah's boil, and it's wunderbar. I mean, Hezekiah um, raises up. He's no longer sick. He's not going to die. Um, and along come some folks from Babylon. Well, Hezekiah apparently gets a little too big for his pants. And he shows off everything that he has, all of his hidden treasures, everything, to those that came from Babylon to see. He just shows it off. Look at what I got. It's all lifted up in pride. This holy, righteous, godly king gets puffed up. And Isaiah comes back to him. And you see it in chapter 39. Isaiah's like, "What did you show them?" It's kind of like a dad talking to a kid. "What did you show him?" And Hezekiah's like, "I showed them everything. I was just showing them everything that God has blessed me with." And Isaiah basically is like, "Okay, nothing's going to happen during your lifetime, but your kids and the nation, there's going to be some issues come from this." And Hezekiah's response always blows me out of the water. I don't know why I'm surprised by it every time I read it, but every time I read it, I just go, wow. And that happened this morning. Hezekiah looks at Isaiah after Isaiah prophesies destruction and says, "All right, okay, the word of the Lord is good." Come on. Destruction has just been prophesied. And Hezekiah is like, "All right, that's cool." And the reason why Hezekiah said that it was good was because it wasn't going to affect him. He wasn't going to see the destruction. He wasn't going to see the punishment. He was going to have peace and security for the rest of his days. But it didn't bother him that his children would become slaves. Here's what I thought. Here's what I believe is our word from the word this morning. Hezekiah could not see beyond himself. It was selfish, truly. This godly king for whom the Lord performed a miracle, for whom the Lord gave 15 more years to his life, became puffed up and self-centered. Don't be selfish like Hezekiah. Now, I know selfish is not a word that we normally associate with Hezekiah, but look at the end of his life. And that might not have been his character for all of his life, but it certainly was his character in this verse and in this chapter. Don't be selfish like Hezekiah. Our actions, our decisions affect not just us, but those around us. As saints of the Most High God, we must be considerate of how our words, how our actions, how our decisions affect those around us. We can't just justify our thoughts, our actions, our decisions because it's not going to negatively affect us. We have to consider how it will affect others around us. Don't be selfish like Hezekiah. It's a matter of checking our motives. It's a matter of checking our spirits. What is our motivation? What is at the root of our decisions? Is it to promote ourselves? Is it to say, it doesn't bother me, so I'm just going to go on and do it? Do we love others enough to consider them? That's what Jesus would call us to do. Now, that doesn't mean that we still don't make decisions that are difficult for others, because sometimes we have to. But what's your motivation? Check your spirit. Check your motives. Take your heart to the Lord. Say, show me where I'm being selfish and prideful so that I can repent. Don't be selfish like Hezekiah. This has been just a word from the Word. God bless you. Have a beautiful day. Have an amazing weekend. Come join me this weekend. Come join me at church on Sunday. I would love to see you, to hug your neck, to pray with you. God bless you. And Lord willing, we'll see you Monday morning.